Hello, Jackson families. Nicole Primelli, Superintendent of Schools. I'm reaching out to you today in regards to a February update for our reopening plan. We are ready to announce our next phase for our elementary schools. We're looking to advance to 5 days of instruction for our elementary students. Thank you for taking a few moments today to review the plan that we have in front of us in regards to returning our hybrid learners to more in-person instruction. As always, our goal is to create a plan that is safe, meets the mandates of our New Jersey restart and recovery requirements, is responsive, and is feasible to the constraints of our facilities, space, and resources. As you know, we have been tracking our data all school year in regards to positive cases, not only in our school district, our town, our county, and our state. We've been keeping a weekly watchful eye on the health department's information that they put out every single week. As you can see, we are beginning to see a downward trend in our cases for Ocean County and the state of New Jersey. So we've began to plan for more in-person instruction in October, and some of you may recall that we were ready to launch that plan in November. However, the data at that time forced us to pause that plan because we were entering the second wave of the coronavirus and cases were increasing. But the current data demonstrates that we are starting to see a drop in not only New Jersey, but also Ocean County statistics for positive cases, and as well as keeping a watchful eye on our district elementary schools that have the fewest amount of positive cases across the district. So reviewing that data, we feel, along with several important reasons why, we should be moving to our next phase now and unpausing this phase that we had started to plan for in the fall. So why will we be bringing back our elementary students first? Well, I'm sure you would agree with me that virtual and synchronous learning is difficult for many students, but particularly our youngest learners. Working independently is also much more difficult at our elementary levels. And of course, our early elementary years lay the foundation for future learning in literacy and math. Social skills are critical to students' growth, and particularly in our elementary school years. And elementary students in our schools are cohorted all day, which helps to limit the need for broader school-wide quarantines if necessary. So I also want to go over just a few things in regards to why certain decisions are made. So moving along, I want to let everyone know why we can't have a full day in-person instruction at this moment in time. Lunch is a big reason why. If we offer a full day of school, we're required by the state to offer in-school lunch. However, right now, under the state's current executive orders, schools are limited to the number of students who can be in one space eating lunch. And given those restrictions, we cannot properly supervise the numerous small group locations we would need for lunch if we have all of our students in our school, hence the hybrid model. Why can't some of the schools have a full day schedule? Well, due to the size of our town, as you all know, about 100 square miles, and our multi-tiered busing system, all of our schools need to be on the same type of schedule, or our buses, because they do multiple runs to all of our schools throughout the day. It's nearly impossible to have different levels on different schedules. So those are a few reasons why some of the decisions have been made thus far and will continue. So right now, we are still in a half-day in-person model for all of our students. Why are we not doing the same 5-day schedule for all of the grades right now? Well, we are beginning with our elementary, because as I just mentioned, virtual and synchronous learning is the most difficult for our youngest students. Increasing in-person instruction, however, remains a priority for us at all levels, for middle school and high school as well. We are focused on implementing this elementary change right now, but we will provide our plans for hopefully increased instruction for in-person instruction for our middle school and high school students in March. Meanwhile, the synchronous instruction that we currently have in place does provide increased instruction from our teachers on a daily basis, and it allows for interventions and enrichments in the afternoon. We'll be moving to this combined elementary hybrid group 1 and 2 learners with a tentative date of March 1st. That means combining our Group N1, Group 2 hybrid learners for 5 days on a half-day, shortened day program in all of our elementary schools. The school times will remain the same as they are right now, followed by virtual small group in the afternoon at home. Due to the lunch restrictions that I mentioned above, it will need to be a grab and go at the end of the day for our in-person 5-day elementary students. So students will grab their lunch and bring it home to eat. It will be important that our students, that's a long period of time for our elementary students to go without food. Therefore, it is important that they eat breakfast at home. So I emphasize that. And I also emphasize sending a snack that they can have at a safe distance within their classrooms during the day. Each student will also be provided a desk shield, as you see it pictured here to the right. These have been purchased for all of our elementary students as an extra layer of protection as we're putting more students into our classrooms. Full remote remains the same. So this is the model for hybrid that I've just explained. For right now, our full remote program needs to stay the same. At this time, due to class sizes in our buildings, we cannot have our full remote students return into in-person instruction. In order to move from full remote to in-person, at this point, the entire class would have to move as our current in-person classes are full. Additionally, at this point in the year, it's really not recommended to have to change teachers for students we're more than halfway through or change peer groups. So at this moment, our full remote students need to stay as full remote, and we're focused in on our next phase for our hybrid learners. So what's the timeline? Well, the tentative start date is March 1st. We're leaving it as a tentative start date. We're hopeful that we can meet that date. We'll be watching the data carefully, but we do believe and are optimistic that that data will continue to decline. We will be sending home a form to our hybrid elementary parents to let us know by February 19th if they do not want to have their child attend the 5-day-a-week program. If you submit that form, the student will then be categorized as a full synchronous rotation student within their classroom. That means they would remain at home to learn synchronously with their class every day. This timeline in setting and communicating to everyone the March 1st timeline allows our teachers and our schools to prepare for this, our transportation department, and our food service to prepare for the changes. Additionally, it allows for our child care program to explore options. As of now, if you are already registered in the child care program, it will be available to you the 5 days a week. But I encourage you to call the child care office. You can find that information on our district website in order to find out any other information you may have about childcare. So again, March 1st is the date that we will be launching 5-day, shortened day for our hybrid elementary students. So consistency of instruction is crucial. We really encourage, not only for the student, but for the staff, that your child, if they are going to be a 5-day in person, that they remain a 5-day in person. If you are opting to not send your child for the 5 days, then again, you will be considered a full synchronous and learn exclusively from home. Please remember that elementary students will need to stay with their selected plan so that they have the continuity of instruction. We know what is not effective is the back and forth of learning models for our youngest students. It's important to their mental health and their academic growth. Of course, the only exception to that for in-person students would be if they're sick or if they are on quarantine. Obviously, if your child is sick, please do not send them to school. If they're showing any symptoms that are COVID-like, please keep them home. Health and safety, as always, remains the top priority. The state and the county currently still is in the high orange activity level, which means there are certain rules and regulations we need to follow in regards to contact tracing and quarantining. Right now, our Road to Recovery plan has always said to socially distance in our classrooms to the best of our ability. We have done the 6 feet up until this point, but as we bring more students into our buildings, it will be less than 6 feet of social distancing. That obviously could mean more quarantining of more students, or more quarantining of classes. We do have the extra layer of our shields for protection on that and all of our other cleaning protocols. So as mentioned, obviously with less social distancing, several scenarios could happen: individual quarantines, class quarantines, schools temporarily put on full status of remote learning, or worst case scenario, having to return to group 1 and group 2 rotations. We're hopeful that will not happen. And again, we're hopeful that the decreases in our COVID cases will continue to happen. So as a reminder, all of our safety protocols will still be in place. Students will be required to wear face coverings, all our cleaning protocols and hand washing and social distancing to the best of our abilities in school and on our buses. No sharing of materials will all continue. However, with less social distancing available, less face covering breaks will currently happen within the school day. Our daily health screenings were very important for you to continue to fill out if you're moving to the 5-day full in-person model that will be required each day to fill out. That is very important, and I emphasize that that happens every day. And we'll continue with in-depth contact tracing as well. So moving forward, as a community, we need your help in order to maintain this program of 5-day in-person learning for our hybrid students. Please follow all safety protocols and measures that have been in place thus far. Again, I emphasize filling out that daily health screening. It's very important that that gets completed every day. And stay home, keep your children home if anyone in your house is sick with COVID-compatible symptoms, or if anyone in your home has quarantined. Please let the school nurse know. Stay in contact with the school nurse, and obviously being vigilant with all of these health protocols will help us maintain this program. So we're excited to offer more in-person learning opportunities for our elementary students. And in order to move that forward again, you will be emailed, the students who are in hybrid learning, those families will receive an email from the district soon with a form asking them only if they are going to not do the 5-day and want to be full synchronous for their children to complete that form. If you are fine with moving to the 5 days, you do not need to complete the form. This is only if you want to move your child from a 5-day in-person schedule at the elementary level to a full synchronous learning model. So that information will be coming out shortly. Again, this information will all be posted on our district website for review. March 1st is our date to move to this model. We are on track to do so. If anything changes, we'll communicate with you. But again, we are ready to unpause that phase 2 model. We've had the plans in place for a while and have been working over the last few months to ensure that this would be feasible for us. So again, I'd like to thank our administrative team here and our teachers who yet again will be pivoting to a new learning model. We are blessed to have the folks that we have here in this district to support your children. So thank you very much and have a good night.